So, do you have any idea why you must incarnate here on Earth? What is the goal of such need to incarnate? Well, let's give you a clue. If you want to be a brain surgeon, what do? You go to med school and you learn about the anatomy and etc. You want to be a rocket scientist, you go to college, you go online, and you learn what it requires to be a rocket scientist. When you socialize with other people, what do you use? You're using your mind. You're interacting, you're speaking, because you've learned words, you've learned how to communicate. When you jump onto a bicycle after you have learned, you use your mind to navigate the world, to navigate potential hazards, etc. Every single thing that you do involves your mind. When you come into the world, you do come into the world with something, and that's a mind. And while you're here in life, you learn. You actually grow your mental capabilities, and you take it with you as well. And we'll get to that. You see, whether you call it God or creation, it still involves a mind, a grand mind. Whether you believe that you're receiving guidance from the universe or not, it's still a grand mind that would need to guide you, is it not? And if you believe in angels and you believe they're guiding you, are they not using a mind? So you tell me, in the universe, what is the most important thing of all? And you use it every day. It's mind. And what do we say when you use your mind? What is that thing? It's consciousness. You see, universal consciousness created spirits, your spirits, with a purpose, a goal. Universal consciousness creates spirit consciousness for the purpose of incarnating. And now, why do you need to incarnate? Well, first of all, the spirit cannot ride a motorbike with wind in its hair. Now, can it? It lives in a less dense existence. However, in the 4D, 3 of space, 1 of time, the spirit can bond with the density and experience wind in its hair, so to speak. It's not like your body is necessarily an avatar, but we'll go with that for the analogy. Somewhere along the way, prior to incarnating, your spirit creates a new personality, and that personality is your material consciousness. So that when it comes in and bonds with the superior Caligulus of the brain, it suddenly makes the body, the lifeless form, awake. It awakens you, meaning it brings to you an awareness. Once born, does a child possess all the knowledge of the universe? No. The material consciousness, the material mind, must now learn from day one how to be a human. You see, there's a pattern here. So through your life, you expand your mind, you grow, you learn things, and the idea is that you are to align with the goal, why your spirit has incarnated. And when you are not aligned with this goal, what takes place is a disharmony. You feel unfulfilled. You feel disconnected, though you are not disconnected, because if you were disconnected, that is to say, if your spirit were to leave, the body and the material mind would cease to exist. You would die and be declared brain dead. While the spirit is in you, you are alive. You can maintain the flesh to be alive, but it requires a machine and advanced knowledge. So, what is the purpose of incarnation? Spirit must incarnate for the purpose, for the goal of expanding its consciousness. Because the spirit in the beginning is without knowledge. And just because a spirit is immaterial does not mean that it's omniscient and knows all that there is. It is true the spirit has an awareness that seems omniscient, but it is not focused on it because, believe it or not, the spirit is not awake as your material consciousness is. It is not fully aware consciously of its consciousness. But in the material realm, you have your spirit and your material consciousness, which can serve to be observer and thinker in one. While you are in existence, you are the personality that your spirit created. Over consecutive incarnations, each one, no two personalities are identical. The reason for this is that there is no limitation to how much you can expand your consciousness, so that the more different each incarnation is from the other, the greater the knowledge is obtained. If one person is able to avoid all negative experiences and avoid any reason to have to gain knowledge, how much did they expand their consciousness relative to someone who's been dragged through the mud, had years at the university, etc.? Which person would have a more expanded mind and therefore potentiality, which is proportional to power of the spirit? Because when you pass away, the material personality, the material mind, ceases and ends right there. However, because your spirit created your personality, and because your spirit was with you all the entirety of the life, those experiences, the knowledges, who you are now with your spirit. And it's not just once, it's for millions of years of incarnation. Because the spirit has a goal to reach, and that is total self-awareness. Now, in the grander scheme of evolution of consciousness, no evil consciousnesses, evil spirits, as you may want to put it, have been created, for this would throw things out of balance. There is enough evil within the human experience to serve any need for that. However, the problem with evil is that it can bring about a degradation, a decay, a degeneracy within not only the human material mind, the psyche, but within the spirit. Because each time when your spirit reincarnates, it reincarnates into what is comfortable, what is familiar, and if over several lifetimes it's familiar with pain and suffering, whether that's an arguing family, and everyone says that their families are dysfunctional, it'll seek to reincarnate in the same habitual negative cycle. So there's no need for evil spirits. It's just not so. All spirits are created full, absolute, unconditional love, which means that in life they're neutral, non-judgmental, non-polar. When they say as above, so below, as below, so above, do you know what that means? You see, universal consciousness, the grand consciousness, and that's universal with a capital U, it's a consciousness. When it creates a energetical consciousness form, your spirit, that's a fractal of itself. You are not the universal consciousness. You are not creation. You are not the God that you think you are. You are a fractal thereof. Your material consciousness is a fractal of your spirit consciousness, because your spirit created your personality. So, as above, so below. Consciousness is a fractal, each one, but you expand your consciousness, so below, as above. Your consciousness below here in the material expands. When you pass on, that is added to the consciousness of your spirit. It expands. And the spirit's goal is to add to universal consciousness. So do you see, as above, so below, as below, so above. The expansion of consciousness is a fractal down to us and a fractal back up to source. Because even universal consciousness is expanding consciousness. There's not a thing you can do in the universe that does not include the mind, that is to say, consciousness. Where there is a true void, a zero of nothing, the only thing that it can exist there is the mind. No material, no energy, nothing. The spirit form, your spirit form, an energetical consciousness form, is a mind that is made up of the finest of energies, of the highest of frequencies. Let's not get confused with the frequency of this energy with the frequency of consciousness. The frequency of consciousness is to what degree you have expanded your mind. So the more you learn, the more you experience. And this is key, experience is greater. The more you experience, the greater you expand your mind, the greater your potential, and the greater your spirit becomes in power. In fact, over multiple lifetimes of incarnation, your spirit does not just contain you, the current personality. It contains thousands of personalities and thousands of lifetimes, likely millions of years of incarnating. Each personality learned something new throughout that lifetime. So, in essence, your spirit contains more than one mind. Your mind is but one. You receive guidance from your spirit, which is multiple lifetimes of knowledge, multiple minds, if you will. And when you need to know something in life, your spirit, when you are ready, when you are in alignment, akin to tuning your radio to a certain frequency from the radio station, when you are in alignment with certain kind of knowledge because you have gained knowledge, or you're in a situation that is in alignment, that it resonates with the experience of your spirit, at that very moment you need that knowledge, your spirit will impulse you and your brain will receive it via your subconscious mind, and you'll gain an insight. Now, that is not the only way you gain insights. But that is enough for now. I want to thank you for being here. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you. No matter what drives you, what you are attempting to do, at the end of the day, all your efforts, good or bad, will be taken and assembled for good. Too much bad will extinct the species, because there is laws of creation that will keep you in alignment with the goal. Violate those, and you are outside of the laws. I'll give you an example of that. Go to the Empire State Building, and I don't want you to jump off, but I'll make the point. If you actually decided you wanted to jump off, and please don't, and you did so without a parachute or some sort of functional wing, you would be transformed from human to squash. That's because you would have violated the laws of physics. Well, the laws of physics is an aspect of the laws of creation. And if you are not in alignment with purpose, with the goal, then you are no longer fulfilled. You feel separate, and therefore the law of creation is being invoked into your life. Align yourself with purpose and watch the wonderful things take place. But it's critical that you know this information correctly, or if you do not, your life will deteriorate mentally, and that will reflect in your physical existence in a not so good way. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. Love to all.